John Motson, who passed away last week at the age of 77. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. We're also available on the BBC Sounds app. You can, of course, watch this game on BBC Television, if you so wish. As the Chip Butty song reverberates around Bramall Lane. And despite the fact that it is on TV, it's a very healthy crowd that has turned up on a miserable night, Clinton Morrison.
Nah, they always get well supported here in at Sheffield United. And credit to Tottenham, they brought loads. Travelling up from London, having to tackle that M1, they brought loads. I'm looking forward to this.
So, Sheffield United, much changed, 8 alterations. And Christian Stellini, with the advice of Antonio Conte, who's still back in Italy, making 6 changes from the side that beat Chelsea. Stellini said at the weekend that he thought that Antonio Conte would return this week. Whether it would be in time for the Wolves away trip at the weekend, you'd certainly think he'd be back in the dugout for Milan next Wednesday in the Champions League. He was certainly adored when we were in San Siro for that first leg of that last 16 tie. So Sheffield United are attacking the Bramall Lane end of the ground. For those of you who know it very, very well, it's where the away supporters are housed in that 2-tiered stand towards our left-hand side. And already the towel is being called for as Jack Robinson comes forward to take this throw in front of quite an expansive area of in between the main stand and the touchline. There must be a good at least 8 yards for him to back up against the advertising hoardings and launch it in now. And it's a long one. Forster gets a hand on that. Moore is back there as well. And Brooks tried to get there, but it was hooked away by Porro. Osborne on the cover on the halfway line lifts it forward, and Sanchez tidies up with a header back away from Andre Brooks. He's 19 years of age. He began the season in National League North at Bradford Park Avenue, and here he is in an FA Cup tie against these multi-millionaires of the Premier League.
Yeah, credit to him, Deno. Just go and enjoy it. That's what his manager would have said to him. There's a reason why he's put him in, so he must have some ability, because as they've got a lot of good youngsters in there that have come through Sheffield United Academy. Yeah, go and enjoy it. What experience it is for him this evening.
Well, up until tonight, his 3 appearances, including his debut against Burnley in November, were all in the 89th minute. So he's going to get a real feel, is Andre Brooks. Quite tall and leggy winger, playing in behind Billy Sharp, who's one of a number of players who are out of contract at the end of the season, as we can just see that rain swirling around under the floodlights here at Bramall Lane. You can hear the Tottenham fans. They filled both tiers in that Bramall Lane end of the ground, hoping that maybe this year might be one for a good cup run, because for the last 3 seasons they've made an exit at this 5th round stage. Looking to turn in the midfield is Tommy Doyle, on loan from Manchester City, along with James McAtee, who's now watching that ball go long. It was Baldock who'd made the run forward from his right wing-back role. Baldock, who's starting for the first time in 2 months. Osborne wins it back. Here is Brooks, left corner of the area, enters the box, wins the corner. Sheffield United, despite the 8 changes, have made an encouraging start.
They have. To be fair, Porro doesn't deal with it. He needs to get up to the pace of it. I see him on his debut against Leicester. He didn't have particularly his best game. I know he's new to it, but he has to start. But it was good play. Good play from Osborne. Good cross from Brooks. Good defending in the end.
Corner then to Sheffield United on this near side, the left, which Ben Osborne is going to take. Tottenham Hotspur have got everybody back inside their own penalty area on a windy and wet night at Bramall Lane. Osborne, left-footed, and the header is well over the top from the Bosnian international defender, Anel Ahmedhodzic.
Yeah, it's been a good start though, Deno, a really good start. They've been positive, and we said with all these changes, would it affect Sheffield United? But as I said earlier when we were talking to Chappers, it's an opportunity for a lot of these players to go and stake a claim and say you want to be in that championship team. But when you were mentioning earlier, the likes of Billy Sharp, 12 players, it is important for Sheffield United to get promoted this season as well.
Certainly is, as the ball goes astray from Tottenham. Tottenham haven't got anywhere near yet into any sort of a rhythm in these opening 5 minutes. Fotheringham, very experienced, 32-year-old goalkeeper, clears downfield. Ndiaye, though, heads it away from Billy Sharp. Højbjerg, Ben Davies scoops it forward. It was Basham who really did attack that and slid on the wet surface as his forward momentum had carried him a good 6 yards after making that connection. Porro caught in possession again by Osborne, but he'll get a throw. Will Pedro Porro, who's on loan from Sporting, Spanish defender, right wing back, only making his 3rd appearance. 5 minutes played and it remains 0-0. Just like last night, the FA Cup ties are staggered. Southampton Grimsby was underway at 7:15, Burnley Fleetwood 7:30, Manchester United West Ham United will be on Sports Extra. That also is 0-0, and 7:45 kick-off Arsenal Everton, and an 8 o'clock kick-off Liverpool Wolves. So that's just underway. So as soon as there is a goal in any of those games, we have reporters at every single venue. You'll hear about it here on BBC Radio 5 Live. We're with you through until 10:30. We'll hear the draw as well. Old Suits You Sir didn't tell you about that. He was very modest. He's actually hosting the draw as well.
Is he, yeah?
He is, yeah.
Superstar.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know whether he's going to do a change before appearing on TV. I just need to have a word. You can be my agent for the night, because it means that I might have to do some presenting towards the end of the evening. So I'm only paid to be a commentator, but I'm thinking if I'm standing in for Chappers for half an hour, I might be able to purchase a very good suit. The deadlock might be broken elsewhere. There's a penalty at Southampton. Chris Wise.
And a penalty for League Two Grimsby. It's a handball against Lianco. The VAR check took about 4 minutes, but finally Gavin Holohan is stood over the ball and with a chance to score what would be a famous goal for Grimsby Town and those 4,200 visiting supporters who are watching from the other end. Here we go then. Holohan, right-footed, scores! And Grimsby Town lead at the bottom of the Premier League side Southampton in the FA Cup. Saints 0, Grimsby 1.
What a story that could be for Grimsby Town, as a throw for Tottenham into the penalty area, headed away by Ahmed Hodic at the heart of that Sheffield United defence. The ball then hit back in on the half volley and claimed by the goalkeeper, Fotheringham. Away to our right-hand side, all in green. Cambridge United were the last 4th tier team to reach the quarter-finals back in 1990. As here is Brooks, the teenager for Sheffield United. Plays the ball back, who's giving it away straight to Lucas Moura. Moura seized upon that. Moura's running forward now. Moura enters the penalty area. Excellent challenge comes in from the Bosnian defender, but Moura to Richarlison. Block then comes in once more. Edge of the area, and it was looking towards Pape Sarr. Well, his inexperience almost cost him dear, Clinton.
Yeah, he did. He gave a terrible pass there, Brooks. He played it in between two, but it was brilliant defending, to be fair. Lucas Moura didn't know. It looked like he was 3-on-2 there, Deno. He didn't know what. He'd make his mind up. He took too long, and then when he shifted it, it was a great piece of defending, but should have been doing better.
Cleared away by Doyle in the midfield on the edge of his own penalty area for Sheffield United. Brooks now in a central area, almost getting himself in a tangle, that he finds Koulibaly. And the ball is played forward by Osborne on this near side, the left. And there is James McAtee. Sheffield United keep the ball but go back. Let's find out how it started at Anfield, shall we, in the Premier League. Juliet Ferrington.
It's Liverpool 0, Wolves 0. We played 5 minutes of this match at Anfield, and Alisson forcing and making a save to force a corner from Moutinho. The first threat we've seen from Wolves so far. The first corner of the game, and Sarabai headed wide of his back post. Moments before that, we saw the first shot on target for Liverpool as well. It's pretty even though. Besetic with that one. It's Liverpool 0, Wolves 0.
9 minutes played here at Bramall Lane, and it still remains 0-0. Richarlison just starting to see a lot more of Tottenham on the ball after a very quiet opening 5 minutes. Lucas Moura does a little step over. Koulibaly backpedals away from him. Moura runs forward, he's still going, threads it through to Richarlison, lays it off to Son. Akmanovic got the block in. Son, though, will have another opportunity maybe to pick it up. Koulibaly puts his foot into the challenge once more. Højbjerg, Sarr to Davis. Now they're just starting to get into some sort of a stride. Tottenham. Richarlison on the edge of the area, might fall towards Lucas Moura, and Baldock tucked in will try and bring this ball clear for Sheffield United. Robinson steps out of defence midway through his own half to Osborne. Very, very difficult for Billy Sharp, as Osborne's thinking about hitting that ball from his left wing back role. Billy Sharp has made the run out towards this near side, and then in the end Osborne decides against it, because he's quite clear he was isolated.
Yeah, he is isolated. That's why I'm surprised, to be fair, because he's going to play that role. I think he plays a youngster like Jefferson. He could play that role because he can stretch Tottenham in behind, but I think they play Billy Sharp because he's just coming back and he can hold the ball up really well, but he's going to need help from McAteer and Brooks and Koulibaly, the midfielder. But Tottenham haven't started yet, Deno. They've been poor. They haven't started yet. Nowhere near it.
The weather's getting worse. It's deteriorating in terms of its intensity and sweeping across the playing surface here at Bramall Lane. Still a good atmosphere, though. We've been playing for 10.5 minutes. Get to have a worthwhile opportunity. 0-0 in this FA Cup 5th round tie. What about at Old Trafford? Manchester United, West Ham United, Lee Blakeman.
0-0, plenty of Manchester United chances, though. Anthony's curled over from the edge of the area, and Sabitzer off a Weghorst assist, 18 yards out, daisy cutter, hard and low, great save by Areola, low down to his right, 0-0.
Commentary of that continues on Sports Extra. Burnley Fleetwood in the other FA Cup tie underway at 7:30 is 0-0 at Turf Moor. Arsenal, Everton, Liverpool, Wolves are both goalless in the Premier League. But remember, Grimsby Town are leading Southampton 1-0 in the FA Cup. Son tidies up at the back towards Davis. Davis plays it all the way to Fraser Forster. All in yellow away towards our left-hand side in front of that strong travelling support. Sanchez then gives it back to the England international, who plays the ball across towards Davis on that far side. But the pace is a very, very steady one.
It's slow. I think you're being kind there when you say steady. You mean actually slow. Tottenham's build-up play is nowhere near quick enough at the moment, and you can see they're losing the ball in silly areas.
Brooks has won it inside to Koulibaly. Sarr, though, was running back to his own edge of his penalty area, and Sarr now is going to be penned in over on that far side. But support from Davis, and his clearance will come off a Sheffield United player and go out of play for a throw. If you look at the direction of that swirling rain, though, it just gives you an indication about 1 minute you think it's going from right to left, and then the other way you think it's going from left to right. So keep the ball on the deck. Yeah,
definitely. And following shots, because there could be mistakes from the goalkeepers and defenders.
Basham forced to turn with a back pass. It was away from Foderingham. Despite the thumbs up, the Sheffield United goalkeeper runs across and hits a flat ball away downfield. Sanchez was always going to beat Billy Sharp in the air. Brushes off the top of Sanchez's head and goes all the way back to his goalkeeper, Fraser Forster. Here is Pape Sarr, able to turn. Moura lays it off. Højbjerg hits it early. Robinson with the interception, little bit off balance, out to Baldock. Behind him, though, Baldock comes under pressure and loses out to Perisic, who forces the ball out of play for a throw to Sheffield United. Half-time at St Mary's. What a scoreline, Chris Wise.
Could be one of the stories of the FA Cup this season, couldn't it? Southampton 0, Grimsby 1, a penalty on the stroke of half-time, scored by Gavin Holohan, and really Southampton haven't prized Grimsby open with any regularity. Sekou Mara side-footing over 9 yards out just a moment ago. There were some discontenting voices from the home fans. Southampton 0, Grimsby 1.
13.5 minutes played, still 0-0 here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Porro waits to take the throw on this near side, almost level the area. Forward ball towards Sanchez. McAtee runs back and heads it away and behind for a corner kick to Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, now they're starting to grow into it, and it's Perisic down that left-hand side. Put a good ball in, but it's good defending from Osborne at that back post. The only thing is with Sheffield United, it's going to be a struggle for them to get out, because they need pace in and around. As you said earlier, Billy Sharp is isolated.
So Son has come across to this near side, the right to take it. It's in front of the Kop, which is well populated. Doesn't appear to be too many empty seats in the Kop end here at Bramall Lane towards our right. It'll be an outswinging corner for Spurs. Left arm aloft, right-footed corner kick. It is an outswinger, and it goes through everybody. Arcs its way to the edge of the area. Højbjerg then plays it back. Porro outside the centre circle runs forward. Son has stayed out wide on this near side, the right. Son now runs forward on his left foot, curling low. Fotheringham down onto his knees, makes the save. Comfortable height for him.
Yeah, it's not a bad ball though. It's a cross-come shot. Son, he didn't get enough power to test Fotheringham, but it's always one of those where it just bounces in front of you. Could you spill it? And no one really anticipated it.
Since his debut in the FA Cup, January 2016, Son has been involved in 25 goals in 27 FA Cup ties, 14 goals and 11 assists. He's come off the bench in the last couple of matches, but Christian Stellini, who I'm sure with the input of Antonio Conte, has made the changes. Stellini down there in the technical area. Because of Paul Heckingbottom's touchline ban, and that 3-match ban, only confirmation coming through this afternoon. Paul Heckingbottom's watching on the TV gantry. Stuart McCall, his assistant, the former Bradford City manager, is in that technical area as Osborne forward. Waits for Robinson. Robinson back to Osborne near side the left, level the area just in from the touchline. Ball played forward by Doyle. Picked out Robinson, left corner. Didn't beat Porro. Mora comes to help out, and Porro hacks it away downfield. Ahmed Hodic will see it back towards his goalkeeper.
I'll tell you one thing, Deno, Sanchez has to start. He hasn't started yet. He's missing easy headers, missing tackles, and not comfortable in possession. Hasn't been playing a lot of football. Opportunity for you. Go and stake a claim.
Thing is as well that unlike in round 3 and round 4, there's no replays. It'll be settled here tonight. We know that for sure. And on a wet, windy, chilly night in South Yorkshire, wouldn't think many people would want an additional 30 minutes. Speaking
from yourself? I'm in agreement.
You find me a sausage roll at half-time and I'm happy.
I'll get one. I've told them to specially make one for you. It's got your name on it. Don't worry about that.
17 minutes played and it remains 0-0. The way it started, you just think it might be one of those ties where it's a bit of a slog. Brooks. No, there'll be a... Referee is John Brooks. He's given a throw to Sheffield United. There was a challenge that had come on Billy Sharp. Thought at first he was going to just see if it was an advantage, but he hasn't signalled for an advantage, John Brooks.
No, I think they both go in together and they both get a bit of each other without really... Yeah, Billy Sharp touches the ball. It could have been a foul, and then he catches Sanchez after. So I think the referee gets that right in the end.
So Robinson again is using the black towel to dry that ball. It's going to be another long one. Spurs again have got everybody back inside their penalty area. On this near side, the left. Robinson waits. In it comes now. Cleared though quite comfortably by Sanchez at the corner of the 6-yard box. They see it back to Osborne, the last line of defence. Fotheringham plays it out left-footed. Doyle turns midway through his own half. One of the two players on loan from Manchester City, and of course his two grandfathers, Mike Doyle and Glyn Pardoe, both won the FA Cup with Manchester City in 1969. So there's plenty of pedigree in that family. But of course, if Sheffield United were to progress and then play Manchester City, one would think that they would be cup-tied, ineligible.
Yeah, you're right.
Against their parent club.
And I always think that's hard for a youngster as well. You've gone on to get experience and you missed probably one of the biggest games of their young career so far.
18.5 minutes and we yet to have a opportunity in this FA Cup tie so far. It's very much 0-0 as Porro brings it down off his chest, runs away from Brooks and gets a throw in his favour from the 19-year-old. Let's get an update from Turf Moor. Tom Gale.
Burnley 0, Fleetwood 0. Ian, 4 minutes to go until half-time. The visiting keeper Jay Lynch is a busy man. Decent saves from Taylor, Zaroury and Foster. Fleetwood doing well to restrict the Championship leaders to shots from range. Burnley 0, Fleetwood 0.
keeping in touch with the FA Cup and the Premier League on BBC Radio 5 live tonight here at Bramall Lane. Moura drops into the centre circle, now tries to run away from his marker as the ball is out towards Perisic on that left-hand side. Baldock gets the block in. Out of play it goes for a throw. John Southall's watching Arsenal-Everton in the Premier League.
It's still goalless here in Everton and making it really difficult for Arsenal, as we knew they would. We've just seen them on the counter. Mopé, good position, left of the 6-yard box. Really good challenge by Gabriel. Sean Dyche is animated, he's agitated, he's kicking every ball, but so far so good for Everton, 0-0.
20 minutes played here. In comes the throw, cleared by Osborne inside his own 6-yard area. Ndiaye with ease heads it away from Billy Sharp, posing no problems in that respect, the Championship side, to their Premier League counterparts. Here is Porro, just stabs it on the inside away from Osborne, finds Son side onto goal on the edge of the box. Moura, Pape Sarr, 35 yards out from goal. Davis joins the attack. We've been playing for almost midway through the first half. Sarr shoots from distance, comfortably saved by Foderingham.
And you can see they're getting frustrated. Sarr's about 35 yards out, and it would have to be some strike to beat Foderingham from there. But yeah, it's all comfortable for Sheffield United. This is a game plan Sheffield United have probably got. Let's stay in the tie till about half an hour to go, and then you bring on the likes of Ndiaye, Jefferson, Sanderberg. They've got a lot of good attacking players on the pitch. But so has Tottenham, because they've got one of the best strikers in the world. Oh yeah, you look at the reinforcements: Harry Kane, Danjuma, Kulusevski to come off the bench, should Christian Stellini still acting in that technical area, with Antonio Conte recuperating after his emergency gallbladder surgery back in Italy. Came back too soon in Stadio San Siro as Porro on this near side the right. Lucas Moura, welcome start for him. He was a late substitute against West Ham. His only appearance since the resumption of the after the World Cup. Sanchez comes forward now, crosses the ball, cleared on the run by Basham inside his own penalty area. Osborne now hits it downfield. Dyer and Sanchez once again are both there to step in front of Billy Sharp. Yeah, the balls up to him have to be better than from Osborne. I know he's trying to clip it, he's under pressure, but got to play it into Billy Sharp's feet or to his chest. If it's in the air, he's got no chance against Eric Dyer and Sanchez. Porro flicks it past Osborne. Great challenge from Robinson. Have some of that on a cold, wet Wednesday evening. Look how much. That's the biggest cheer we've heard all night there. Yeah. Left-sided central defender of the three, and Robinson just read it so well. It was a firm but very fair challenge, and Porro certainly felt that. Tottenham Hotspur will have to build from the back once more. Sarr to Richarlison. Koulibaly gets a foot into the challenge. Koulibaly once again lays it back. Basham, Richarlison running towards him. Across it goes to Robinson. And Robinson, because of Lucas Moura's proximity, has to clear long. But every time they are clearing long, Tottenham are picking up those loose balls. Billy Sharp, fouled from behind by Eric Dyer. Free kick to Sheffield United. And they've already taken it, have Sheffield United, as now it's with Osborne. Midway through the first half, still 0-0. Burnley Fleetwood is goalless. Southampton 0, Grimsby Town 1 is the only goal of the night, as Lucas Moura lifts it forward. Son will give chase, one bounce, Foderingham will catch. They haven't, listen, this is Sheffield United's game plan, so you can't be critical of Sheffield United, but with Tottenham, they've got some good players and they have nowhere near started yet. Dyer steps out of defence. Dyer runs forward now to the edge of the area, lays it off to Richarlison, sends over the cross. Dyer just couldn't quite take it into his feet in the inside left channel of the penalty area, as Spurs in their purple and black shirts are playing from left to right as we look. Sheffield United again clear. It's Højbjerg in the centre circle. Porro just inside his own half, back towards Højbjerg, and Porro's going to go back. What about Manchester United West Ham? Lee Blakeman in the cup.
0-0, big chance for West Ham though. Antonio through, one-on-one, just ahead to beat. Big save at his near post. He's got the clean sheet record here, De Gea. He fancies another, 0-0.
Richarlison enters the penalty area left-hand side towards the byline, wins a corner kick. Didn't seem to have too much on. He did well to do that, win that.
Yeah, he did. He shifted it, and Bulldog, he can shift the fullback, the right wing back, Bulldog, but it's good defending. But yeah, you want to see Richarlison, the likes of Son, more getting on the ball more, because Tottenham are dominating possession without really being a threat on Sheffield United's goal.
You see, the way that Perisic is walking across towards that far side, you'd think that Tottenham Hotspur were 3-0 up.
That's what I mean, and it's
He's
signal,
sauntering.
and it's intent, Deno, and that's what I don't get with some players. Play quicker. I know he's doing his signal and that, but get there quicker. Don't let Sheffield United get set.
Corner kick then to Spurs. Perisic is going to take it left-hand side. It's left-footed, it's curling away from the goal. It might drop here to Richarlison. Ndiaye then was prevented from getting on the end of it, and Sheffield United have cleared. Of course, because it's a championship ground, we haven't got VAR tonight. And they won't have it either at Turf Moor, where there's a red card. Tom Gale.
The visitors are down to 10 men, Ian. Burnley 0, Fleetwood 0. It's Cian Hayes, the teenage Irish striker, shoots from just outside the box, goes for the follow-up, high foot. The referee, Dean Whitestone, reached straight for his back pocket. They played so well, the League One side, but they're certainly up against it now. Burnley 0, Fleetwood 0.
Burnley looking for a first quarter-final appearance in 20 years. You might recall that they lost to non-league Lincoln 6 years ago at this stage. 0-0 it remains here at Bramall Lane. We've heard of Arsenal-Everton in the top flight. What about at Anfield, Juliet Farrington?
Same scoreline here. It's goalless at Anfield. 22 minutes played. Liverpool starting to get the edge in terms of possession. That front three as well tonight. Salah and Jota and Nunes working well. Salah crossing a low to Jota. He tried to flick the ball into the bottom corner, but the effort just a few moments ago went wide. An injury concern for Wolves. They've got to play it down. It's 0-0 here at Anfield.
Half-time as well now at Turf Moor, and the 10 men of Fleetwood will have to reconvene. Burnley 0, Fleetwood 0 is a half-time. Southampton 0, Grimsby 1. A 7:15 kickoff, so they'll be resuming that second half very, very soon. Manchester United, West Ham is goalless. That's on Sports Extra. And whether it's a Manchester United fan or indeed a Sheffield United fan, because of course there's been a lot of takeover talk regarding Bramall Lane, there is a new podcast on BBC Sounds. It's called How to Buy a Football Club, and whilst it refers to the sale of Manchester United, the process might offer a little bit of insight. You can get that on BBC Sounds. 0-0 in the FA Cup. Mora out towards Perisic, left hand side, Son streaking through the middle, Richarlison joining him. Perisic still yet to score, goes alone, blocked by Bulldog, comes out to the Croatian, has some support from Ben Davies, gets a throw, and Bulldog prevents Perisic from taking it, and we've now got a little bit of a pushing and shoving contest going on between the two individuals. Quick throw, Richarlison kept the ball in play, back to the Croatian. Davis waits, Højbjerg plays it back though to Sanchez. A little bit predictable at the minute from Tottenham.
Yeah, slow and pedestrian, sideways, backwards. Perisic there has a chance one-on-one with Bulldog. He telegraphs he wants to come inside. Good defending from Bulldog. But Sheffield United will be happy with this because Tottenham are not causing them problems. This is how they've set out. You can see they're very defensive. Sheffield United want to play on the counter-attack, but Tottenham are not hurting them at the moment.
Here is Lucas Moura to the feet of Richarlison. Can't turn, so he's got his back to goal and he gives it away. Did you have this sometimes on when you were playing, that, you know, if you didn't start in the right tempo, you can then all of a sudden it can
have effect. I know what you're saying, Deno. Yeah, 100. You're right, to be fair, and you're spot on. But we have players that would tell us, "Come on, we haven't started yet." If someone has a go at you, the pitch, take it as like we need to get each other going. What leaders out there are telling them, "Come on, we haven't started yet, Tottenham. Let's move the ball quicker." No one, because they're dominating possession. It doesn't mean they're playing well.
Well, the ball is played through to Sanchez. Flag stays down. Richarlison hits it right-footed, and it's over the top. Flag had stayed down too. Wasn't a late flag, just never materialised. That's the best opportunity of the game by far.
Yeah, and it's because the centre forward, Richarlison, wants to run in behind. Watching the replay, he is onside. Bulldog's playing him on the far side. It's a good ball from Sanchez. Once he gets into that, it's a difficult angle, and yeah, he drills it over the bar. But I think a certain Harry Kane probably scores, because I've seen him do it many times.
Well, he's gone 16 games without a goal. He's actually only scored in one game where he scored 2 against Marseille, and he just couldn't keep it down. But before that opportunity, I was watching Christian Stellini in the technical area. He's cutting a very, very frustrated figure.
Yeah, we're frustrated here because we want to see more action in this game, and we ain't seeing action at the moment, but he would be frustrated. Do you know what it is, Deno? When I watch Tottenham, they like teams to dominate and then they can play on the counter-attack. But Sheffield United are not doing that. So now they have to go and, can they go and create stuff? And you know their best creative player is on the bench, because that's Harry Kane. He creates stuff. That's why he drops into holes and makes things happen. And that's why Son is missing him tonight, because once he makes his runs, who's going to pick that pass to him?
They have lacked consistency this season. They have frustrated their supporters. So we're speaking to a number of them in Milan a couple of weeks ago in the Champions League. And at the minute they are labouring 0-0, but a goal in North London. John Southall.
And Arsenal have found a way. Arsenal 1, Everton 0. Bukayo Saka on the right of the area has just smashed it into the near post, into the roof of the net. Arsenal 1, Everton 0.
Arsenal looking to go 5 points ahead of Manchester City against an Everton side in the relegation zone. Liverpool 0, Wolves 0 is still a latest score, also in the Premier League. The Grimsby Town are still leading at Southampton. Son can't take it into the penalty area, cleared by Doyle, falls to Lucas Moura, hits it on the volley right-footed, and he's absolutely skied that into the Kop end. Goal kick, 0-0.
No, that sums up the first half. That shot there from Lucas Moura, where he's got so much time, sums up the first half. I'm looking across the line here, and I've got guys, our producer Gaz, and I've got Chappers down the end, and we're both looking at each other and saying all three of us could do better than that, and we're way past it. Well, what are you saying, Deno?
You maybe. I've seen Chappers was a clogger. Here is Richarlison. Richarlison to Sarr, edge of the area. Played out to Baldock. Baldock had to slide in. He's caught Perisic there. There had been a little bit simmering between the two before. He had to go for the challenge, did George Baldock, but he might have caught Perisic on the follow-through.
Yeah, obviously it's been boiling up between the two of them, and as you say, there's no VAR here, so you won't be able to have a look at it, but we're going to see the replay now. George Baldock does get in there. Ooh.
It is on the follow-through.
It's the follow-through that catches him. He gets the ball, but it is the follow-through. So he's not making a meal of it. Perisic, he does get caught. The follow-through does get him. It does catch him.
I'll tell you how bad this game is, though, is that joke about the suits and buy 4 for £1. That's tempted to be the highlight of the night. I thought Tom Gale was too dismissive.
I know he dismissed you, didn't he, then?
Yeah, don't worry.
Not happy with that, are you?
Yeah, well, this game has got the hallmarks of extra time written all over it at the minute.
You're not wrong.
Perisic is getting treatment. It remains 0-0, and believe me, it's 0-0. What about your goalless game, Lee Blakeman?
It's 0-0, but it's a good watch here at Old Trafford. The best player on the pitch by a mile has been Garnacho. He's just gone close once again, cutting in from the left, edge of the area, couldn't keep his shot down, went just over the crossbar. 3 to go until half-time. Manchester United 0, West Ham 0.
Straight to Southampton, another penalty, Chris Wise.
And another one for Grimsby, a chance to go 2-0 up. Holohan's over it again, he's already scored once. Holohan scores again! This is absolutely incredible! 2 Grimsby penalties, and this one scored in front of more than 4,000 supporters. Southampton in massive trouble now. Saints 0, Grimsby 2.
Wow, what a story that is for Grimsby Town, leading 2-0 at Southampton. What an upset that would be.
Is that second half?
Yeah, they just started the second half.
Wow.
So Southampton really do have their work cut out. That could be such a damaging defeat in terms of their morale. Perisic is back on his feet. He's yet to come back onto the field of play. He was actually just checking his shin, his heavily tattooed shin, behind his shin pads after that challenge from Baldock. So temporarily Spurs are still down to 10. It remains 0-0. 11 minutes to go to the break. Sheffield United now with Brooks, chips the ball forward. Ndiaye just cushions his header and Ben Davies skies it. Yeah, so that goal was scored 5 minutes into the second half. And Grimsby Town leading 2-0. Basham out to Osborne. Osborne gets the return ball back left-hand side, delivers the cross. Dyer heads it away. Porro clears for Spurs. Spurs won't be as bad, surely, second half.
No, they can't be as bad second half. They can't be as bad.
Foul on that far side. Brooks for pulling back at Ben Davies.
Wouldn't surprise me, Deno, if they made changes at half-time. Conte will be at home watching this and he'd be cutting a frustrated figure. And they'd be saying, give these people opportunity. If they don't make changes at half-time, it'll definitely be 15 minutes after half-time if they don't score before half-time.
So last night, Brighton, Fulham and Manchester City went through. We're going to get a Premier League side out of Manchester United, West Ham. So that's guaranteed to be 4. Spurs would be 5. Southampton going out. They would be your 5 Premier League clubs in the last 8. And for a team that hasn't won a trophy since 2008, this is an opportunity for Spurs if they can book their ideas up. 0-0. Here is Sanchez on the halfway line. Porro closed down by Osborne. Spurs get the benefit of that decision. 8 changes Sheffield United made. Spurs made 6. Porro, who's one of them. Diagonal ball. Lucas Moura to Pape Sarr. And Mihodic comes across. Osborne with the clearance then off his left foot, high in the air. Billy Sharp gets himself in front of Dyer, guides his header to Koulibaly. Koulibaly waits up to Osborne. There had been an initial foul by Porro on the Malian midfielder, and after trying to let the game flow, referee John Brooks gives a free kick to Sheffield United.
See, they're not in no great rush. They're definitely a game plan with Sheffield United. As I said, I think they'll keep it tight for as long as they can and then bring on some of the big hitters from the bench and try and really go for it, because then you're not giving them loads of game time and giving them the whole 90 minutes and even extra time if it goes to that.
Ben Davies is just going to usher that ball out for a corner kick, which Fraser Forster is going to take. I bet you the urgency and the tempo is a lot quicker next week when Tottenham Hotspur entertain Milan in the Champions League. We'll have commentary from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium of that one, but plenty of live football before then. Chelsea Leeds at 3 o'clock on Saturday. Southampton Leicester City at 5:30 Saturday tea time. Forest Everton on Sunday, to be followed by Liverpool Manchester United, and then Chelsea Borussia Dortmund on the Tuesday night, also in the Champions League. There's been a goal elsewhere, and it's back at Arsenal. John Southall.
A massive goal for Arsenal. Arsenal 2, Everton 0 just before half-time. Had a long VAR check. Idrissa Gueye was dispossessed. Martinelli nipped in and put it past Pickford. We had a couple of minutes to look at it. It's been given. Arsenal 2, Everton 0.
This is Son with a shot on the edge of the area. Sheffield United defending in numbers with the block. Comes out to Sarr. Back towards Son. 30 yards out from goal. Sarr runs forward. We've got about 8 minutes to go to half-time. Ben Davies joins the attack. Out to Perisic. Plays it inside to Davies. Davies makes that run. Does well with a cross. Headed away, though, by Doyle inside that penalty area. Half-time at Old Trafford. Lee Blakeman.
0-0, lively game though. United have gone close through Anthony, Sabitzer and Garnacho from the edge of the area. West Ham went closest with an Antonio one-on-one, which was well saved by David De Gea. 0-0 at half-time.
Perisic with the cross, doesn't actually deliver it the first or second opportunity, holds on to it and then clips it into to Sanchez, just forward of the centre circle. Dyer now has it. Every outfield player is in the Sheffield United half away towards our right-hand side. Højbjerg. Lucas Moura waits, has to go it alone to Richarlison, the return ball. Robinson did enough to put off Lucas Moura, and Porro then with a block, and it bounces out of play for a goal kick. Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, it's just not happening for Tottenham in that final third, and also in midfield as well. The build-up's too slow, and Lucas Moura and Son are so closed in. I said this is where I think Conte's changed it a lot, and that's why you're not getting the best out of Son. When you've seen Son when he was top goal scorer, it'd be hugging that left-hand touch line and making them out to in runs. Now he's all congested in the middle. It's been a bit of a struggle.
The ball will go back to Fraser Forster. McAtee will give chase. Forster plays it forward to Højbjerg. Højbjerg to Lucas Moura. Are they not reliant on the wing-backs to provide that width, as the diagonal ball from Porro to Son, beautifully brought down by Son, left corner of the area, but he's crowded out by 2 Sheffield United players to Perisic. Perisic now switches play to Porro. Porro off his chest, challenged by Osborne, running in field and goes back. And then the ball up towards Lucas. Lucas Moura, right corner of the area, he's done well, good strength. Dinks it towards the far post, brushes the crossbar, and then bounces away from Richarlison. Perisic out of the area with the cross, left-hand side, on the stretch. Basham to clear for Sheffield United. All of a sudden, best spell by far for Tottenham Hotspur. 5 minutes to go to half-time. Ndiaye, midway through the Sheffield United half, along the ground to Porro. Leaves it then to Lucas. Infield to Ndiaye. Ndiaye makes the run. Poor clearance, only as far as Son. Can't get a side of goal. Challenge comes in from Doyle. Højbjerg back out to Lucas Moura. Right hand side, didn't beat his first man. Blocked by McAtee. Behind it goes to Tottenham. Clinton.
Yeah, that's the best spell that we've seen in the first half for Tottenham. Great, it was a good ball from Ndiaye, and Lucas Moura. Koulibaly was going to trip him, but he dinks it, and it's beat West Fodrum. It hits the top of the crossbar, and then it goes to Perisic. He delivers back in, and then good play on this right hand side, and it was good defending again from Osborne. But you were right earlier when you talk about the wing backs. Perisic and Porro haven't been in the game enough, then.
That's Clinton Morrison, who's with us here at Bramall Lane. 0-0. 4.5 minutes to go to half-time for what was a 7:55 kickoff. Son, right-footed corner kick, and after a lengthy look at that, John Brooks, the referee, has given...
He guessed. He guessed. Basically, he guessed, didn't he? What are we saying?
Was it a good guess?
I thought it was a corner. So it's a bad guess, but I like being, I'm changed, man. I like to be good on referees, so I'm saying he's had a good game so far.
Half-time at Arsenal, John Southall.
Arsenal 2, Everton 0, 2 goals in the final 5 minutes of the half for Arsenal. Bukayo Saka smashed in the first, he then dispossessed Idrissa Gana Gueye. Martinelli nipped in for the second, 2 shots on target, 2-0 they lead, 5 points clear as it stands. Arsenal 2, Everton 0.
And it remains Liverpool 0, Wolves 0, also in the Premier League at Anfield. But in the FA Cup 5th round, Southampton 0, Grimsby Town 2. Grimsby would be ball number 6, just in case Lord Chapman is listening. Burnley and Fleetwood remains goalless, as does Manchester United West Ham, and as does this game. For Spurs or Sheffield United, they would be ball number 4 in the quarter-final draw. That, extra time permitting, we were planning to take live here on BBC Radio 5 Live, but at the minute there's going to have to be a little bit more excitement in the second half. So
where's Chapper's doing this draw then? Not on, where, in a special room?
Yeah, a special room, a studio somewhere, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah, I can see it over there.
Little flick on by Shah. This is an opportunity here, it's Koulibaly. Oh, he squandered it. Koulibaly slashed it wide left-footed. Best opportunity for Sheffield United. 2.5 minutes before the break, and he hit it left-footed and he hit the side netting.
He has to do better. You know what? If he takes the shot on Deno, you're then going to have to score. You have to score. McAtee had one in the last round, but it's a big mistake from Højbjerg. He doesn't get enough back, and he just square it straight away to McAtee, who's in the middle. Instead, he takes the shot on Koulibaly, and it's a terrible finish. He should be going across Fraser Forster. Big opportunity.
We've been saying about Sharp not likely to win any of the flick-ons. He actually did win the flick-on there, and Koulibaly, and the ball actually deceived me. I thought it hit the side netting. What it did, it actually bounced off the advertising hoardings into the side netting that gave that effect that it had. But it was a real chance for Sheffield United.
Yeah, it was a big opportunity. You know what? I don't mind players going for it, but score. You have to score, because if not, McAtee's got a tap in from about 3 or 4 yards. It's just decision making.
Well, I reckon that's about only the third opportunity between the two sides. Richarlison right-footed over the top. Was it Lucas Moura who grazed the crossbar?
Yeah, the crossbar, you're right, yeah.
And then Koulibaly.
But that's the best one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Here is Koulibaly. He's a 22-year-old Mali midfielder. They picked him up on a free from the Norwegian club Sarpsborg in 2020. As I say, it's only his second start and his 5th appearance. A box-to-box midfielder. He's actually been working with Stuart McCall to try and enhance his game. Stuart McCall, who in his heyday really was a midfield dynamo, with that strawberry blonde hair of his, as he in the technical area Former Bradford City and Everton midfielder, a Scottish international eventually, only because he changed his allegiance after refusing to put his boots on when he was at the England under-21s. Because he thought, no, I want to be a Scot after all.
Okay. Why did he go there? Change his mind once he went there?
I think he had a change of heart.
Yeah, because they picked the team and he wasn't on it.
In those days, if he played for the under-21s, that was it.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
It's since changed in the international laws. I think that story's right. Anyway, we're about to find out how much added on time there will be here at Bramall Lane, and it remains Sheffield United 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Free kick to Sheffield United. We'll see how much added on time there will be. Andy Madley's just trying to work out that electronic board down below. Tottenham have got everybody back just outside the D of their penalty area, so quite a high line to try and protect Fraser Forster, all in yellow. And just the additional 60 seconds. Didn't think it would be long. And it's going to be a free kick to Sheffield United. Far side to right, playing from right to left, diagonal ball in towards the penalty area. Forster drops it at the first time, picks up that bouncing ball, throws it out around head height to Lucas Moura. Basham slides in, excellent sliding challenge. And again, that's the second really strong challenge. The first was Robinson on Porro, and that sometimes can be a catalyst for supporters.
Yeah, it can. As I said, we've seen the two biggest roles, and that was Robinson's tackle and Basham, and it's a great tackle because he is going there, Lucas Moura, and he's travelling at pace, but the recovery from Basham was outstanding. Great tackle.
Played against Tottenham Hotspur in 2015 in a League Cup semi-final for Sheffield United. The Son looking to try and squeeze the ball into to Sanchez. Sheffield United clear. Ndiaye pushed over Billy Sharp off the field of play. The referee, though, tried to let the game flow and then sounds the half-time whistle. And Sheffield United will be very content. They've made 8 changes, and they really have restricted Tottenham Hotspur to a couple of opportunities at best. Koulibaly squandering the best opportunity for Sheffield United. Yeah, Sheffield United 0, Spurs 0.
You're right, Deno. You're spot on, to be fair, making 8 changes, and they've had probably the best chance of the first half with Koulibaly. It's just his decision-making, and he's got to be scoring. If he doesn't square it to McAtee, he has to be scoring. But no, it's been a good half for Sheffield United, a disappointing one for Tottenham. Haven't really created anything.
I don't think either of the two sides have really made great strides in this first half. It's 0-0.
Had that one written beforehand, did you?
So, Henshaw 41 sent it to me on social media.
Oh dear. Just got to get through tonight. Look,
get through it,
just on Koulibaly's chance, saw a couple of the replays. There was one extra touch that he took that I wonder whether it just forced him just slightly wider than he wanted to be. I don't know.
No, you're right, Chappers, because what he could, if he take it, either he's going to square it, but once he's take that extra touch, the touch is too far ahead. So if he goes across him, the defender, then he can go with his right foot. But where he takes the touch, it goes to his left foot, and that's why the angle's a bit tight, and it's bobbling, and he drills it wide of the post. But it's a good opportunity.
Just a couple of things on Tottenham. When you watch them going forward, it looks to me like the only player willing to actually take a Sheffield United player on and run at them or run past them is Lucas Moura. Everybody else seems to be trying to pass round the opposition.
Yeah, they are, and it's a strange one because Son's brilliant on taking players on one-on-one. Richarlison made one good movement where it was a good pass from Sanchez and he gets in, but they haven't had enough runners going in behind, and I think you're spot on, Chappers. Go and take people on and commit people. Everything's safety from top, sideways, backwards, and the tempo's slow. If you play quick like they did towards the end of the first half, you'll cause Sheffield United problems.
Now, the story of the night would appear to be at St Mary's, where it was Southampton 0, Grimsby 2, but there's been a third goal. Which way, Chris Wise?
The first of the night for the Premier League side. Southampton 1, Grimsby 2. Charleta Sarr, the Croatian defender who gave away the penalty, Grimsby's second penalty, has scored at the far post. Corner was deep. He was there, unmarked, all alone, side-footed it in. and Southampton have a bit of life, and boy do they need it. Southampton 1, Grimsby 2.
How long have you got left there?
We're in the 66th minute now, Mark, so this could be a long old 25 minutes or so for Grimsby Town.
And have they been comfortable, the League Two side, up until Southampton pulled one back?
Yeah, relatively. I mean, Southampton really have not been able to create enough. Ruben Sellés, their temporary manager, is in charge to the end of the campaign. He made 9 changes tonight. That was always a little bit of a risk. They didn't create a whole amount in that first half, Southampton. Grimsby got the penalty just before half-time. A slightly weak one, I have to say, the second one, both scored by Holohan, but now obviously the nerves will kick in. This is a real test of their resolve.
OK, we'll be back with Chris shortly. Let's go to Turf Moor next, where you would think now the Championship side most definitely are the favourites. Tom Gale.
6 minutes gone in the second half, Mark. Burnley 0, Fleetwood 0. Fleetwood reduced to 10 in first half stoppage time. Teenage striker Cian Hayes shown a straight red for a high boot. I've been on iPlayer, I rewound the action. It looks awfully harsh. If VAR were here, I think maybe the referee would have been sent to the manager, but that's irrelevant. We've continued as we left off in the second half. Burnley seeing plenty of the ball, but defensively the League One side have gone to 5 at the back. Burnley 0, Fleetwood 0.
Half time at Old Trafford, and just like here at Bramall Lane, it is goalless between Manchester United and West Ham. In the Premier League, half time, Arsenal lead Everton by 2-0. They're going 5 clear at the top of the table as things stand at Anfield as they close in on half time. Jules?
Yeah, we're into added time, 4 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Still 0-0. We've played 1 minute of that time. It's been a little bit flat and scrappy, to be honest. It's been a bit dire as well. Harvey Elliott with the best chance for Liverpool coming towards the end of the first 45. It was a cross put in by Núñez. Elliott, though, planted his header just wide of the far post. Jota, he's also gone close for Liverpool. Wolves have had to make a change. It's Bueno as Elliott goes again and produces a fantastic save from Sarr to go out for another corner. Jurgen Klopp talking yesterday about he wants this week to be a little push in what Liverpool are trying to do in hunting down those top 4 places. They're going to have to do better than they've done in the first half so far. Alisson pulling off a save early on from Moutinho to deny Wolves an opportunity at the other end. But as I say, it's been pretty flat, pretty scrap. A great save though by Sarr in added time at the end of the first half as Liverpool now go and take this corner. In it comes, headed away and over the bar. It's going to have to be much better from Liverpool in the second half if they want to have that little push, Mark. It's 0-0 here at Anfield.
Just to be clear, Jules said scrap there. And would you say it was frustration around Anfield?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
You're there. I mean, I'm not there.
I was just
I'm not asking anybody else.
What scrap?
No, you said scrap, and it just raised an eybrrow here.
Oh, scrappy. I meant scrappy.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's been a little bit of scrapping in the first 45. In terms of frustrating, yes, because as Jurgen Klopp spoke yesterday, and the fans have been trying to lift the team. We've had the various songs and the chanting as this has gone on, because what they're watching isn't great so far. The front three started to work well, but that's kind of drifted, and the game seems to have drifted away from them, and Wolves are just being really, really stubborn. I just think they want a little bit of a spark here, because if anyone, as Jurgen Klopp said yesterday, he believes if anyone is going to get into those top 4 positions, he talks the matches up, but then it's up to the players to produce, and the fans aren't really happy with what they're seeing so far. Still 0-0.
Thank you very much, Jules. Julia Farrington at Anfield. Second half from here at Bramall Lane. On the way, goalless in the FA Cup between Sheffield United and Tottenham. 12 minutes to 9. You're listening to 5 Live, and Jill Mackenzie has the latest BBC News.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thank you, Mark. Good evening. Police who've been searching for a missing baby have confirmed that they've found a body. There was a nationwide search for Constance Martin and Mark Gordon after they disappeared in early January. The couple were found in Brighton on Monday without their baby and were arrested on suspicion of gross negligence manslaughter. Chief Superintendent James Cullis is from Sussex Police.
I understand that the conclusion of this search will be heartbreaking for the local community and the wider public, who have been impacted by and so supportive of this search and the investigation from the outset.
The parents of a disabled teenager who died after becoming morbidly obese at the family home in Powys have been jailed. Kaylee Titford from Newtown was 16 and weighed 22 stone when she died in October 2020. Alan Titford was sentenced to 7.5 years. Sarah Lloyd-Jones was jailed for 6 years. Mr Justice Griffiths passed sentence at Swansea Crown Court.
This was a horrifying case, a case of sustained neglect, leading to the death of a completely dependent, bedridden, vulnerable, disabled child at the hands of her own parents.
Allies of the former Health Secretary Matt Hancock say he's considering legal action after the Daily Telegraph claimed that he rejected expert advice to give COVID tests to everyone going into care homes in England at the start of the pandemic. Mr Hancock denies the claim and says only limited tests were available, so the government had to prioritise. Well, this evening the Telegraph has published a new allegation that in September 2020, secondary school children in England were required to wear masks to avoid a row with Scotland, which had already introduced the measure. And a spokesperson for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex has confirmed that the couple have been asked to vacate their UK home, Frogmore Cottage, on the Windsor Castle estate. It follows unconfirmed reports that the King wants Prince Andrew to move in, as Prince Harry and Meghan now live in California.
This year, as part of Red Nose Day, you could win an iconic BBC prop. Maybe one of Villanelle's suits from Killing Eve. Or a judge's badge from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Go, go, go!
Get involved this Red Nose Day and help people through the toughest times of their lives. And be in with a chance of winning something amazing from the BBC. Oi, not the mic! Go to bbc.co.uk/Red Nose Day for information on how to enter, donate, terms and privacy notice. You must be 18 or over. The giveaway closes at 11:59pm on Saturday, 18th of March 2023.
This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman.
Goalless here at Bramall Lane between Sheffield United and Tottenham in the FA Cup. If you're just joining us, let me give you the scores elsewhere. Southampton 1, Grimsby 2, less than 20 minutes to go at St Mary's there. Goalless between Burnley and Fleetwood. They're just into the second half there. Manchester United West Ham has just got underway. That is goalless. And you can listen to that on Sports Extra. Half-time at Anfield, Liverpool 0, Wolves 0. Half-time at the Emirates, also in the Premier League. And Arsenal lead Everton by 2-0. Now, earlier, David Malan scored a century to lead England to a 3-wicket win in Bangladesh in the first of 3 one-day internationals. That was key to England's chase as they overhauled Bangladesh's 209 all out with 8 balls to spare.
The fact that we restricted Bangladesh to 210 helped. I think if we were chasing 250, 260, it would have been different. We'd have had to go harder against their bowlers when, they were bowling exceptionally well. They seemed to take wickets at the right times and just kept pegging us back. But credit to us, we sort of found ways of getting partnerships and getting over the line. Everyone, no matter who it was, took a bit of time to get used to the wicket, and everyone was sort of 5 or 10 or 15 or 20, trying to get their rhythm going and trying to get used to the conditions. So we felt if it went above 5.5, one of us had to take a risk against the bowler to try and get it back down to under 5s to make it easier for someone to start. We were lucky that it was such a small score and we had a short side that we sort of knew if we hit 2 or 3 out of the middle, the whole momentum of the game would change.
David Malan there after England's win in the first one-day international against Bangladesh. The ex-Aberdeen boss Jim Goodwin has been appointed the Dundee United manager until the end of the season. Jules Fontaine, who holds the record for the most goals scored at a single World Cup, has died at the age of 89. EuroLeagues tomorrow will look back at Fontaine's career and life. And Mary Earps made history yesterday after winning FIFA's Best Women's Goalkeeper, becoming the first Manchester United player to win at the awards. She returned to training this morning, and her manager Mark Skinner spoke about the reaction she received.
Obviously, it's a wonderful achievement for anybody, but obviously to happen in-house, I thoroughly deserved it. You never know how these awards are going to go. You never know whether the best person actually wins the award, but in this case, she certainly did. So, yeah, she brought in this morning. The girls have obviously give her a huge round of applause. They've all been in contact throughout anyway, and I felt even the speech she gave after I thought was truly beautiful. But the award is heavy as Asif. I can tell you that. She brought in this morning. We were all holding it. yeah, look, we've got some flowers and just made a real fuss of her because she absolutely deserves it. And you know what? We've spoken about her a lot, haven't we, over our press conferences, and for all the praise we give her, her ability to win things like that just cements the qualities she has.
Mark Skinner on Mary Earps winning FIFA's Best Women's Goalkeeper. Right, let's go back to St Mary's. Grimsby holding on. Chris Wise.
Still leading 2-1. We're now inside the final 15 minutes, though. Southampton have got a free kick on the right side of the penalty area, and one of their 4 subs that Ruben Sellers has sent on, James Ward-Prowse, is over it, so we'll keep an eye on this. Ward-Prowse sending it across goal, dealt with again by Grimsby. They have to try and forget the tiredness in these closing stages. Southampton 1, Grimsby 2.
Extra time and penalties tonight in all the games if they are all square after 90, and that's the case so far with Burnley Fleetwood. Tom Gale.
Hour gone, Mark. Burnley 0, Fleetwood 0, as you'd expect with 10 men playing against 10 men. Sorry, the championship leaders are bossing things, but credit Fleetwood and their manager Scott Brown. They're digging in this one. A back 5, and they're holding on here. Burnley 0, Fleetwood 0.
All square at Old Trafford as well, and they're back underway in the second half. Commentary of this one on Sports Extra if you want to listen to that. Lee Blakeman.
Yeah, 52 on the clock, 0-0. Chances at both ends though in the opening stages of the second half here. A big David De Gea save has just kept out a Souček header, and then down the other end Wout Weghorst has fired wide. 0-0 Manchester United and West Ham.
Would imagine it's party time at the Emirates. John Southall.
Oh, very good. Arsenal 2, Everton 0. Thomas Partey is on. Jorginho has gone off. Not a bad change that. And Idrissa Gana Gueye, who was at fault for the second goal, has also gone off for Everton. Mason Holgate is on. And you have to say Everton haven't scored more than once since October. You mentioned that before the game, Mark. And I think it's 1 away goal in 7. So it's looking unlikely for Everton. Arsenal 2, Everton 0.
I genuinely didn't mean that. I just thought they'd be really... No, I had no idea that he'd come on. I just thought they were generally happy and celebrating because they were 2-0 up.
I thought it was very good.
God, yeah, I'm not that. Come on, you know.
I know.
Let's go back to Southampton. Chris Wise.
Oh, Grimsby should be 3-1 up. Terrible touch by Perro on the halfway line. John McAtee racing through. He's one-on-one with Alex McCarthy, but he ran out of legs at the crucial moment, and the goalkeeper smothered. 78 minutes played. Southampton 1, Grimsby 2.
They're heading back there a few times, I would have thought, for the last 12-15 minutes or so at St Mary's. Grimsby on course for the last 8. The draw coming up. Once this game here at Bramall Lane has been settled, you'll be able to watch it on BBC One at the conclusion of this. There are extra time and penalties available tonight. No replays in the FA Cup 5th round. The other game in the Premier League tonight at Anfield is goalless between Liverpool and Wolves, waiting for the second half to get underway there. Tottenham just started to come back out here. They need to be so much sharper, Clinton Morrison, don't they? I mean, at the back and the midfield, the passes are so laissez-faire, aren't they?
No, you're spot on, chappers. It's too slow. They need to play at a higher tempo. That's what you want to see with Tottenham, and if they don't, it will be a long night because we will be going to extra time. But they've got quality on their bench that they can make changes if it's not going right. As for Sheffield United, just say stay the same and stay in the game.
Because they will get a chance. They will get, as we saw.
Well, we saw that with Koulibaly. You do get a chance. If he takes that, they got something to hold on to, and they make it more difficult. But their bench is strong as well. So I expect the benches to make both teams to make changes from the bench, and that's where it'll be won and lost from the benches.
We are going to Old Trafford before we go to Ian Dennis. The deadlock has been broken. Lee Blakeman.
West Ham lead, and it's a worldie from Ben Rama, cutting in from the left, 16 yards out, curler across goal, top corner, no chance whatsoever for De Gea. And you have to say, against the run of play, VAR are checking this, by the way, the ball may well have gone out in the build-up, so it's being checked. But as things stand, West Ham are 1-0 up.
We'll be back with you to find out whether that is given or not. And back to Chris Wise.
From 2-0 down, it's 2-2, Saints 2, Grimsby 2. Theo Walcott's equalised. It's all due to the quick thinking of Ward-Prowse. Free kick, nobody saw it coming. He did. Walcott was on the same level, took a touch inside the area, prodded it beyond the goalkeeper. Southampton 2, Grimsby 2.
We'll let you know whether the goal at Old Trafford stands. It's on Sports Extra if you want to listen to it. We're back underway here at Bramall Lane. Here's Ian.
Thanks, Mark. Now the side has made a change. I'll run through the two teams for you as quickly as I can, but we'll also be just keeping an ear across to make sure that goal at Old Trafford for West Ham United stands. And that goal has been given. So Manchester United 0, West Ham United 1 stands. That's on Sports Extra. Burnley Fleetwood remains 0-0. It's now 2-2 at St Mary's, and Tottenham Hotspur are attacking, but it's Koulibaly with the interception to prevent it from reaching Son. So Sheffield United, red and white striped shirts, black shorts. For those of you who know Bramall Lane, they're defending that two-tiered Bramall Lane end of the ground where the Spurs fans are housed, and they've travelled in great number this evening. So they're playing from left to right, they're attacking the Kop end, and this is the team. Fotheringham in goal, back three of Basham, Ahmedhodzic, Robinson, Baldock, Osborne, Doyle, Koulibaly, McAtee, Brooks and Billy Sharp. 8 changes that Paul Heckingbottom made as he serves the first of a 3-match touchline ban. Now the goal stood at Old Trafford, but did it stand at St Mary's? Chris Wise?
No, so it's still Southampton 1, Grimsby 2. Walcott was offside from that Ward-Prowse free kick. So Grimsby still lead inside the final 8 minutes by 2-1.
So Grimsby still lead then at St Mary's. West Ham United are ahead. Burnley Fleetwood waiting for the deadlock to be broken. Tottenham Hotspur, who are playing from right to left in their change strip, the purple and black tops and the black shorts and the luminous socks. Forster in goal, back three of Sanchez, Dyer and Davis, wing backs of Porro and Perisic, Sarr and Højbjerg, Richarlison, Mora and Son. And here is Son, quickly out towards Perisic, slides, keeps the ball in play, and then gets the corner kick as he tries a quick cross that was blocked by Baldock. And already Clinton Morrison, in these opening 2 minutes, you can see so much more urgency from Spurs.
Yeah, so Stellini must have had a word with them at half-time, because it wasn't good enough in the first half to shoot into their home fans, and you can hear them getting behind them. But you're right, it's been a brilliant start from them, Deno.
Son to take the corner kick on this near side, the left. It's a right-footed corner in towards the near post, and it was flicked on by Perisic and saved actually quite well by Fotheringham on his goal line, all in green.
Yeah, it was a really good flick on, to be fair, and from Perisic it was a good whipped-in ball, but Fotheringham held on well. That's where you want a centre-forward just inside to get themselves a cheap goal.
Spurs have been eliminated in the last 3 seasons at this 5th round stage. They lost to Norwich in 2020. And then Everton in a thriller 5-4 a year later, both of those under Jose Mourinho. And then last year, of course, on this exact day, the 1st of March, they were beaten at the Riverside by Middlesbrough, managed by Chris Wilder at the time, who we of course heard from ahead of the game. He's here tonight for BBC Television. You can watch it and listen should you try and sync up BBC Sounds to the television pictures, because we're always available through BBC Sounds. Sharp with the cross. Perisic heads it away inside that 6-yard area. Brooks, the 19-year-old, in his full debut, as Basham tries to thread a ball through to Sharp, but the ball went one way and Sharp went the other in the inside left channel.
Yeah, he done well, Basham. He drive that pace, and you're thinking, can he flick it into Billy Sharp? But Billy Sharp makes the wrong run, to be fair, and it's unlucky from Basham.
Paul Heckingbottom, always looking dapper, as the ball is played through to Son, watching this game in the above us on the TV gantry here at Bramall Lane. Son darts onto it. Son looking to try and get the shot away, left-footed along the ground. It was blocked. Comes out to Porro on that right-hand side. Sanchez is going to trundle forward. Porro, though, will turn and himself will whip in the cross, strikes his own player from the header away from Ahmedhodzic, and then eventually it's put out of play on that far side by Basham for a Spurs throw. 5 minutes into the second half. Colin Murray will follow 5 Live Sport at 10:30 tonight on BBC Radio 5 Live. But we're live at Bramall Lane, where Grimsby Town are edging ever closer to becoming the first team in the 4th tier to reach the last 8 of the FA Cup since Cambridge United all those years ago, back in 1990. They're leading Southampton 2-1. Burnley 0, Fleetwood 0, Manchester United 0, West Ham United 1. And that game at Old Trafford is on Sports Extra. Meanwhile, in the Premier League, Liverpool 0, Wolves 0, and very soon we'll get an update from Arsenal. But Lucas Moura's forward, edge of the area, accelerates, bursting his way into the penalty area. Block comes in, caught by Fodering. Will go there now, John Southall.
Arsenal 2, Everton 0, should be 3-0. Trossard unmarked, 4 yards out, volleyed into the ground over the bar. Arsenal 2, Everton 0.
And at Turf Moor, Burnley Fleetwood in the FA Cup, Tom Gale.
Burnley 0, Fleetwood 0, but only just. Ian Burnley with a header cleared off the line. It's Charlie Taylor at the back post. It's a combination of goalkeeper and Harrison Holgate keeping the score. Burnley 0, Fleetwood 0, less than 20 of normal time to go.
Fleetwood in the last 16 for the first time. Perisic with the throw, left-hand side, goes towards Richarlison, trying to roll away from Ahmed Hodic, the tall and lean 23-year-old Bosnian defender. That seemed to go out of play before it was cleared by Doyle. The referee was happy with his decision to let play continue. Spurs now with Sanchez. They're looking more sprightly as Spurs though in this second half, and Porro on that right-hand side with a cutback, and not for first time their clearance has struck his own player. I think on both occasions it's the poor old Jack Robinson who's got it on both occasions. This time it was a drive by Doyle. Son for Spurs stands on the ball, Koulibaly tidies up, and Baldock will clear. Son picks it up. Spurs are getting there to the loose ball every time though at the moment.
You're right, Deno. They look really sharp in the second half. Sheffield United can't get out. He'd be looking to make changes. Moura's been a threat this half.
Here he is, inside now to Son. Son just over the top, left-footed, just outside the D, couldn't keep it down. It remains 0-0. 7.5 minutes into the second half. We'll go to Old Trafford. Lee Blakeman.
Malassi has got it, edge of the area. West Ham have just had a great chance for a second. They'll clear the ball here. Fornals, right side of the box, shot across the face of goal, and it just went wide at the bottom corner. Casemiro and Rashford are on for United as West Ham burst into the area. Good save by De Gea. What a game this is. West Ham leading it 1-0.
Commentary of that is on Sports Extra. We'll keep you up to date here on BBC Radio 5 Live as well as BBC Sounds as Tottenham with Højbjerg forced back almost midway through his own half. He gets it from Sarr. Højbjerg now looks up, right-footed, picks out the run of Richarlison. Ahmed Hodic is going to go with Richarlison, and it will go out of play, and it will be a Sheffield United throw on that far side.
I'd say, you know what, Deno, the tempo has been better in the second half from Tottenham. The likes of Son and Moura. Well, Moura was the best player for Tottenham in the first half, but in the second half, both getting on the ball, trying to make things happen. That's what we were saying at half-time. Have they got a player who can go and commit and create something? And them two are doing it at the moment.
Let's get an update from Anfield in the Premier League. Juliet Farrington.
2 minutes into the second half, Adama Traore is on for Wolves, and Trent Alexander-Arnold has belted one in from the edge of the area right from the restart, but that shot was blocked by Dawson. It's still Liverpool 0, Wolves 0.
You were in the fifth round twice, well, 3 times in your career. Sheffield Wednesday, Birmingham. The best run that you had in the FA Cup was with Coventry City in 2009.
Wow, that's long, but did we lose to Chelsea?
Yes, you did.
They had a hell of a team, Chelsea, back then. But some top players.
My question is this: when do you start thinking that this could be your year? Is it at the quarters, or is the fifth round too soon?
No, quarter-final for sure. When you get to the quarter-final, you start thinking, if we can get a good draw, we've got a chance.
Here is Sharp, pulls it back, looking for an opportunity for McAtee. Makes the run into the penalty area, inside left channel, wins a corner kick for Sheffield United.
Yeah, it's good hold-up play. I said get the ball into Billy Sharp's feet, in and around that box. He holds it up, does ever so well. Watching the replay, might have been offside, but McAtee did ever so well. It was good defending, but good play from Billy Sharp.
McAtee on loan from Manchester City. His 6 appearances for City have all been as a substitute, but a talented player, an England under-21 international, scored a great solo goal at Blackpool back in December. So with his efforts, Sheffield United in front of the Kop end, far side the left, still at 0-0. 5 Live and BBC Sounds, corner kick for the Championship side. From the left, Basham with his header, it's looping and it's over the top. And it's out for a goal kick. We'll go back to the Premier League and to Arsenal, John Southall.
Arsenal 2, Everton 0, best chance of the game for Everton. Dwight McNeil, 14 yards out, saved by Ramsdale. Arsenal 2, Everton 0.
So 2-0 there, Liverpool 0, Wolves 0 in the FA Cup 5th round. Southampton 1, Grimsby Town 2. That was late. That was late by Pape Sarr. And Doyle is on his feet. And this is going to be a yellow card for the Spurs midfielder.
Yeah, he does catch him late. So he tries to dive in, and Doyle does ever so well, flicks it round the corner. Right decision, referee gets it right. It is a yellow card, nothing more.
So 11 minutes into the second half, I think that's the first yellow card of the evening. Burnley 0, Fleetwood 0, Manchester United 0, West Ham United 1. An update from St Mary's. How long left? Chris Wise.
We're in 6 minutes of stoppage time. Southampton 1, Grimsby 2. Stoic defending from the visitors. Saints probing, but it's not hugely problematic for the fourth-tier team. Southampton 1, Grimsby 2.
What a story that will be. We'll have the reaction here on BBC Radio 5 Live. We're off air at 10:30. Assuming there's no extra time, of course. There's some penalties as the ball into the penalty area. Offside. Flags up on this near side. It was Ahmedhodzic, the defender, who got forward and triggered the flag on this near side. Free kick to Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, it was a well-worked free kick. Doyle flicked it in, Basham, but as you said, he was offside. He went too soon, but yeah, it was good build-up play from Sheffield United. They're growing into the game. Second half, it's been a better second half than now.
Ndiaye. And it couldn't get much worse from the first half, could it?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. You're not wrong. It wasn't the best. We made it sound the best, because that's what we do.
I've got a feeling that I'm out repaying you £10 for that compliment. Here is Davis. Vocal Tottenham support from the both bottom and top tier of that Bramall Lane end of the ground away towards our left-hand side. Hooked downfield by Doyle, bouncing ball. Spurs have got Wolves away at the weekend before Milan come to North London, and then Nottingham Forest. Of course, they've moved into the top four and are 4 points clear of Newcastle United. I mean, they have started to show consistency in the Premier League, at least, with 4 wins out of their last 5 and keeping clean sheets in those 4 victories too. The only aberration was the heaviest defeat of the season when they lost 4-1 at Leicester. But as we approach the hour mark, they're awaiting the deadlock to be broken here, as it's Basham to head the ball away. Baldock keeps it in play, headed away on the halfway line by Højbjerg. Lucas Moura's downward header to Richarlison, very congested and confined on this left touch line, and it goes out for a Tottenham throw.
It's just lacking that quality, isn't it, Deno? In the final thirds, all the build-up plays are right from both teams. Just that quality in the final third at the moment we're lacking.
In a strange old season for Tottenham, and yet could be in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup and indeed the Champions League. That is at least their aim. McAtee runs forward. Doyle provides the support. Doyle's cross headed away by Sanchez. Nice little touch by Andre Brooks out to Osborne. Osborne swings over the cross, headed away by Spurs. Basham tries to get there, cleared then by Pape Sarr on the edge of his area, and then it's tidied up by, and it all the way back to Fotheringham. But the crowd now are sensing that Sheffield United have got nothing to fear.
Yeah, because they've seen what Tottenham had to throw at them in that first half, and they dealt with it. Now they're getting confident.
Here is Koulibaly. Waits with the outside of his right boot.
No need for that.
I'm not too sure what he was intending, actually.
Yeah, I don't understand why. You just give it to Bulldog. Bulldog's on the outside of you. You're trying to outside of the boot, trying to hit Hollywood pass. Keep it simple.
Well, Spurs, the last time that Sheffield United were in the Premier League in 2021, they won here by 3-1. It was their first win in 8 visits since actually a 2-0 win in a League Cup tie back in 1990, when goals from Paul Stewart and Paul Gascoigne saw Spurs prevail. Hasn't necessarily been a happy hunting ground for them, certainly in the league down the years when they've actually played prior to that win in 2021. And the Championship side, second in the table, 12 points behind Burnley, 7 clear of Middlesbrough, so looking for automatic promotion. They've named a much changed side, did Paul Heckingbottom, but they do have also strong options on the bench, just like Spurs do, and there is activity down below. Sander Berg, I think, is one of the players who's getting warmed up. Here is Richarlison, and Richarlison's turn on the edge of the D and he screwed it well wide. It's ended up nearer the corner flag than Fotheringham's goal.
Yeah, I was going to say, it nearly hit the corner flag. He could just play it to Poro. Max Lowe's coming on as well. I did see that earlier on, to be fair, Deno. I think he's been sitting there and they're thinking, let's get the 2 in, because you only get the free time to make the changes, and they're bringing on Zanderberg and Max Lowe. Probably B for, I don't know if it would be Osborne. No, it's George Baldock.
Well, that's not necessarily a surprise in the sense that Baldock's returning for the first time since Millwall on January the 7th, 2 months out with a hamstring injury, so Max Lowe comes on to replace him.
And Koulibaly.
And Koulibaly is coming off for Sanderberg. Meanwhile, the story of the night undoubtedly is at St Mary's. Chris Wise.
We're in the final few seconds. It's Southampton, bottom of the Premier League 1, Grimsby Town of the 4th Tier 2, as Saints look for a last gasp escape. A long ball into the box is out of play. It's a Grimsby goal kick, and they are surely now seconds away from one of the most famous results in their history. 1939 was the last time that Grimsby Town got to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. We are deep in stoppage time. 6 minutes went up on the board. We've now played 6.5. Paul Hurst, the Grimsby manager, with his hands in his pockets, trying to keep his team focused. 4,500 Grimsby fans making themselves heard. There's the whistle! Grimsby Town living out an FA Cup fantasy. They've knocked out Southampton at the Premier League on an incredible night at St Mary's. 2 goals from Gavin Holohan, both from the penalty spot. Saints are out, Grimsby into the last 8.
What a story at St Mary's. Grimsby Town are through to the quarter-finals, knocking out Southampton, and that means now that we're looking at a maximum of 5 Premier League clubs in the quarter-finals. It's an all-Premier League affair at Old Trafford, and there's been another goal. Lee Blakeman.
Manchester United are level. Casemiro has headed in a free kick from Bruno Fernandes, but there's a VAR check on this, which has just been announced. I'm not sure if it's for offside or what. He got the header in through a crowd of players, Casemiro. It looked fine. Come back to me. At the moment, it's 1-1 United and West Ham.
Commentary of that on Sports Extra. Burnley 0, Fleetwood 0. That was a 7:30 kickoff at Turf Moor, and it is goalless. Arsenal in the Premier League lead Everton 2-0, Liverpool 0, Wolves 0. We've been playing for 63 minutes here at Bramall Lane, and it is still 0-0. Højbjerg to Richarlison into the penalty area. It's ahead of him. Richarlison will get there. Last touch though came off Richarlison as he tried to win a corner off his shins. Out for a Sheffield United goal kick.
I think Harry Kane was just warming up and they just called him back, to be fair. So I think, yeah, there he is. He's getting, yeah, there he is. He's stripped, ready to come on.
Harry Kane is going to be coming on. We're going back. Lee Blakeman.
It's been disallowed for one of the tightest offsides you'll ever see. So Casemiro's header chalked off. Still Manchester United 0, West Ham 1 with 17 minutes to go.
And as Harry Kane comes on, there's another goal at Arsenal. John Southall.
It is game over. Arsenal 3, Everton 0. Odegaard has just side-footed in from 8 yards out, his 9th of the season, and Arsenal are going 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Arsenal 3, Everton 0.
Harry Kane is coming on. Richarlison is the player who's going off. So 17 games now without a goal for Richarlison since he's the only game he scored in with those 2 against Marseille in September. Harry Kane comes in, so Son then to the left, Lucas Moura to the right of that front 3.
Yeah, and I bet there'll be a threat. Instantly there'll be a threat. Give them a big boost when one of the best is coming on the pitch.
Meanwhile, Sanderberg picks it up, tries to thread a ball through to McAtee, pulls it back. Ben Osborne, left-footed cross into the penalty area, headed away by Højbjerg. Little flick by Harry Kane. Up in the air it goes from Basham. Dyer heads it up rather than away. Davis can't get there. Was there a nudge in the back on Davis? Papasar towards Perisic, and he clears downfield, and that'll be tidied up by Robinson for Sheffield United. 65 minutes played, and it is still 0-0. As Porro, the right wing back for Tottenham, back to Fraser Forster. Sheffield United, who have failed to score only once in their last 16 games. That was against Rotherham United. As the ball runs all the way through from one penalty area to the other, and to Fotheringham, to Sheffield United. And now it's with Doyle, who picks it up into the centre circle, and to Sander Berg, Norwegian international, runs forward. Osborne's made that darting run ahead of him on the right-hand side, and it runs out of play for a goal kick. How long left at Turf Moor, Tom Gale?
We've got roughly just shy of 5 minutes of normal time remaining, Ian. Burnley 0, 10 men, League One, Fleetwood 0. It's been over 8 hours since Scott Brown's League One side last conceded a goal. It's wave after wave of Burnley attack, but as it stands, we are heading for extra time. Burnley 0, Fleetwood 0.
Sander Berg, whilst we were away there, he had to vault the advertising hoardings at the Kop end, and I think he had a rather awkward fall into the second set of advertising hoardings that are right on the front edge of the Kop end towards our right-hand side. It might have taken a little bit of a knock, but he's back on his feet, and they're back up to their full complement of 11. But we're almost midway through the second half, and it is still 0-0. I can't recall too many clear-cut chances second half.
No, you're spot on, Deno.
Here is Berg. Sharp wasn't expecting that. He was flat-footed.
It's a good ball, you know. If he is expecting it, he should be there on this side, Billy Sharp. He did go, and then he checked his run because Sander Berg had his head down, but it was good football from Sheffield United.
Here is Sarr to Davis, just over the halfway line. Ball then is across to Sanchez, through the legs of Højbjerg. Højbjerg breaks down actually for Tottenham. Robinson steps out of defence, finds Brooks, the 19-year-old, on that far side. Porro, though, will dispossess him. Porro to Sanchez and clears it away. Goal at Old Trafford, Lee Blakeman.
1-1, this one will stand. Weghorst with the header off a Fernandes corner in. No need for VAR this time. Manchester United 1, West Ham 1.
And that's Wout Weghorst's first goal at Old Trafford, and only his second goal since they bought out his loan from Besiktas. His previous one had come at Nottingham Forest in the first leg of the League Cup semi-final. An equaliser there, still 0-0 here. Cross coming in on that far side, and it goes from Doyle straight into to Fraser Forster. So Osborne's now playing as the right wing back, isn't he? And
Max Lowe's gone to the left wing back, yeah. Because I think they must have an injury to Jayden Bogle, because he's another one who usually plays in there. Very exciting wing back.
Here is, I know John Egan is suspended. There's been a little bit of illness in the camp as well. As there's a slip there from Sanchez, lost his balance. Sheffield United will profit and run in behind, and the cross comes in from low, and then it was blocked by Ndiaye. And Ndiaye now is just shouting the wake-up call to Tottenham Hotspur. All of a sudden, and it's probably the first time tonight, it feels now like a cup tie with that little bit of jeopardy.
He does, because Sheffield United are confident. They think they can get something. They've weathered everything Tottenham have to throw at them so far, and it's them that look the most likely at the moment. I'm Tottenham, I'm bringing on Kulusevski. He makes things happen. He's been warming up for the whole half. You got to bring him on.
Sheffield United, ball into the penalty area. Comes off the head of Davis. It's with McAtee, offside. Free kick.
He actually was offside, but you know when the linesman wait, he was offside. Basham though from the first initial cross.
By the way, that might not go down as I was just going to say, it won't go down as a Wout Weghorst goal after all. It's been credited to an Aguerd own goal. 13 minutes from time.
And Weghorst needed that goal for his confidence. I bet he's not happy with that. You've got to claim it as a striker.
Well, I noticed that in the League Cup final, when they originally said it was a Botman own goal, that they changed their minds and did credit it to Marcus Rashford.
No way, did they?
Yeah, they did. So
it was going miles wide, wasn't it?
Took his tally to 25 for the season.
He's in good form at the moment. Give it to him.
I was updating my red book yesterday. Noticed that change. 0-0 here. No chance of any goals at the moment here at Bramall Lane. Might have to wait for the penalty shootout for that. Here is Berg. Challenge comes in from Davis. Certainly with the schedule that Tottenham are on, they will not want extra time here at Bramall Lane. The deadlock's been broken at Turf Moor. Tom Gale.
In the 90th minute, Ian, Burnley 1, Fleetwood 0. Heartbreak for the League One side, down to 10 men for over 45 minutes. But it's a Connor Roberts tap in from 7 yards out, which seems to have saved their blussies. Burnley 1, Fleetwood 0.
And Burnley then into the quarter-finals for the first time in 20 years. The ball was played forward to Porro. He took it down very, very well, actually, from the pass from Højbjerg as he made forward. It was a lovely cushion touch from Porro, and the turn over the top and a goal kick. But there's a stoppage in play. The physios are on.
He got cramped, the youngster.
And it's Andre Brooks.
Yeah, you would have it. It's a big step up, this is, to playing at this kind of level. But he's done well, the young man, so far tonight.
Just trying to think teams in who, if he began the season at Bradford Park Avenue, it could have been teams like
Spennymoor. Yeah, that kind. Not South Shields, because they're in a different part, but
Blythe,
Blythe, Blythe Spartans.
And all of a sudden you're now looking...
And you're playing against Harry Kane.
Against Harry Kane here in the FA Cup.
Brilliant. What dreams are made of. See, for any youngster, go out on loan, learn your trade, come back. Kulusevski's coming on as well, Deno.
But also Sheffield United are going to be making a change. Ndiaye.
Yeah, good player.
So he'd made the 8 changes. Blackburn at the weekend. I don't think either manager would actually fancy the prospect of extra time, given their other priorities. But you say Kulusevski, he's going to be coming on too for Tottenham. So at least we're starting to get a little bit of a shape as to what that quarter-final draw will look like with the teams who are in it.
And Skip's
Grimsby have joined Blackburn, Brighton, Fulham and Manchester City by knocking out Southampton. Burnley are going there. Still no wiser between Manchester United and West Ham. And certainly remains level here. And there's been a goal now at Anfield. Juliet Bellingham in the Premier League.
Yes, it's gone to Liverpool and Núñez with it. But as I'm speaking to you, there is a VAR review. Wolves are absolutely furious. They think there was a foul on Kilman by Jota. As I say, VAR are having a look for a possible foul. But as it stands, Núñez has made the breakthrough here. I'll come back to you. Liverpool, as it stands, lead Wolves 1-0.
Thanks, Jules. It's going to be a double change for Tottenham. So Lucas Moura is coming off for Kulusevski, and Oliver Skipp, who scored his first goal for Tottenham at the 61st attempt, and it was a cracking goal as well against Chelsea at the weekend. He replaces Pape Sarr in the midfield. And did Sheffield United make their change?
Yeah, Ndiaye come on for Brooks.
And it was Brooks who's gone off. So that was his first start, the 19-year-old. So he came off, and Iliman Ndiaye, who's been linked with a whole host of Premier League clubs. They signed him from Boreham Wood in 2019, the Senegal international. 10 goals that he scored this season. He comes on, although actually it was 9 in 21 before the World Cup, and since representing his country, only 1 goal in 15 since. So changes have been made. 16 minutes remain of normal time, and it is still 0-0. Liverpool lead Wolves 1-0, and another goal at Arsenal. John Southall.
Arsenal 4, Everton 0. They're enjoying themselves now. Martinelli at the near post has just nudged it in. Could get messy for Everton. Arsenal 4, Everton 0.
When I say it's 1-0 Liverpool, VAR, Juliet.
Yeah, back to 0-0. Paul Tierney went to the monitor, took a look. Núñez's goal is ruled out. It did appear that Jota brought down Kilman before the ball fell to Núñez, who took that one touch and scored, but VAR has overruled it. We're back to 0-0 at Anfield.
15 minutes remain of normal time. So Christian Stellini has called for the reinforcements. Kane, Kulusevski have joined Son in that front three. We're still awaiting that final whistle at Turf Moor. Burnley with an injury time goal leading Fleetwood 1-0. Grimsby Town are through. 0-0 here. A Skip short of the halfway line finds Son right of the centre circle. Plays it out towards Skip. Forward ball. Kulusevski. Back to Skip. Højbjerg waits. Højbjerg now out to Davis. Perisic near side the left, flicks it on the inside of Osborne, delivers the cross, headed away by Robinson. Perisic to Porro, He's going to shoot from distance, moves in the air, off target, off his right foot, goal kick. Clinton Morrison 0-0.
Yeah, it's a wrong decision from Porro. To beat Foderingham from there, it's going to have to be something spectacular. But Tottenham are going to have a spell now. With 15 minutes to go, they've brought on the big hitters, and they don't want extra time. You're right, Deno. Extra time. I can't see a goal at the moment. I'm going to say that, because usually when I say that, we do get a goal. But at the moment, I can't see a goal.
Well, I really did think that when I'd got wind that they were going to make the 8 changes earlier, I thought this would be a Tottenham Hotspur team that would progress. But they're finding familiar territory with toil and trouble at the 5th round stage that Tottenham fans know only so well. At least those that have travelled are creating plenty of backing, vocal backing, in the end, that they are willing to see their side try and score a goal. Here is Kulusevski. Perisic with the cross, just too deep, and runs away from Harry Kane and out of play, and then he turns away and shouts down into the ground in his padded jacket, does Christian Stellini.
Because you know why? I said go. Because he's picked the wrong pass, Kulusevski. If he holds it one more minute, Harry Kane is coming on the outside of him. And you know what happens when Harry Kane's one-on-one? He usually evidently scores, but I think Kulusevski picked the wrong pass.
Stellini, who's won all 4 games when he's been in charge. Marseille, Manchester City, West Ham and Chelsea at home. As Sheffield United, under pressure, go back. Ball is then lifted forward towards Berg, takes it on the chest and is caught, skip full on in the face from close range. Full time now at Turf Moor. Tom Gale.
Burnley 1, Fleetwood 0. Ian, the Championship leaders through to the quarter-finals for the first time in 20 years. League One Fleetwood down to 10 in first half stoppage time. It wasn't decided until the 90th minute. Connor Roberts with a Cruyff turn flick home from inside the 6-yard box to settle things. Full time, Burnley 1, Fleetwood 0.
Well, we're yet to have a game breakout at Bramall Lane, but certainly the atmosphere has been ramped up, at least with 12 minutes remaining, all sparked by that incessant chanting from Tottenham's travelling support away towards our left-hand side. 12 minutes remain, 0-0. Extra time looms large.
They've been good, the away fans. They've been excellent, because the team ain't gave them much to cheer about so far this evening, but you know, they backed with them, they stayed with them, they've been excellent.
Dyer to Forster. Ben Davies left of his own penalty area. His forward ball will only reach Doyle. Doyle comes forward, finds his fellow loanee from Manchester City, McAtee. Low on the inside. Doyle. Osborne tucked in. Tees it up towards Berg. Right corner of the area. It's a teasing ball in. Sanchez does well to head it out. And Ndiaye looking to turn, edge of the penalty area. Højbjerg and Porro between them deal with it for Tottenham Hotspur. That was a ball that you'd have thrived on in your heyday, Clinton.
You're not wrong. It's a great ball in, but it's well defended.
11 minutes remain. Sheffield United 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Out it goes. Cross doesn't come straight away from Ndiaye. Robinson delivers a low ball in. Will fall towards Ndiaye. Looking for a sight of goal. He's done well. Oh, he's done very well.
What a goal!
What a goal from Iliman Ndiaye. Great feet. Lovely footwork. And the finish wasn't bad either. And Sheffield United lead Tottenham Hotspur by a goal to 0 with 11 minutes remaining. Spurs could be stumbling again in the 5th round.
Oh, it's a brilliant goal, Deno. To be fair, he's the outstanding player I see in the Championship week in, week out. The close control on the side of the pitch is fantastic. He goes past Porro like he's not there. Squares up Sanchez, goes past him. And once he gets into that position, it's a good finish past Fraser Forster. But he's an outstanding player. And that's why he played at the World Cup with Senegal. But it's a brilliant finish. Great feet. He rolls Porro, you can see it, Deno. And then he cuts him, goes past Sanchez. It's poor defending from Sanchez, but brilliant goal from Ndiaye.
Well, Sanchez hasn't really been at the races all night.
Look at it, he's got his hands behind his back. You can't defend with your hands behind your back, Deno. It's poor from Sanchez.
But a great bit of footwork from Ndiaye. And the right-footed finish past Fraser Forster, and Sheffield United are leading by a goal to 0 with 10 minutes remaining. Goal at Anfield in the Premier League. Juliet Farrington.
And it's a goal this this time for Liverpool, and it does stand against Wolves, and it's Virgil van Dijk with a header. It came from Trent Alexander's free kick, assisted by Jota, and then Van Dijk headed past Sarr to give Liverpool the lead here. They're leading Wolves by a goal to nil.
Tottenham Hotspur breaking forward, looking for an equaliser. Ball in towards Son in the penalty area. Basham is there. Basham does well. I can smell the sulphur from a red smoke bomb that has been let off away towards our left-hand side, and the goals going in around the country. Anfield, Bramall Lane, and now Old Trafford. Lee Blakeman.
Garnacho with a worldie from the edge of the area. Manchester United come from behind to lead, picked it up, left side of the box, curler, far corner of the net, no chance for Areola. That goal in the 90th minute from surely the man of the match, Garnacho. Manchester United 2, West Ham 1.
We're looking at only 4 Premier League teams in the quarter-final draw as it stands. Sheffield United lead by a goal to nil. Danjuma waits to come on. Osborne inside towards Doyle. Doyle turns away from Højbjerg. Doyle's shot will come off a Sheffield United player off the heels of Ndiaye. And it will be, well, the flag's up anyway, so it's not going to say a goal kick, but instead it'll be a free kick to Tottenham Hotspur. Danjuma's going to be coming on. Spurs have been so disappointing.
They've been poor, and this is an opportunity to get a trophy. We've said that all along. There's only a few big teams left in it, and it would have been a great opportunity for Tottenham. I'm not saying it's over because there's still time, but they've been poor this evening. Nowhere near good enough. Sheffield United deserve it.
So Danjuma has come on, and Osborne plays the ball 1-2 with Akmerovic, and he clears the ball away, and the player was Porro who's gone off. So Danjuma for Porro, so he's actually gone in to that right wing back role at the moment. But Sheffield United, we've been saying, well, you've been saying, Clinton, that they've been growing in confidence, and Paul Heckingbottom's played this ever so well.
Yeah, he has. As I said, it will open up in the second half. They just wanted to stay in the game, and then they brought on the likes of Ndiaye, Sanderberg.
Ball released to Danjuma, away right-hand side. Danjuma with the cross, doesn't reach Harry Kane. It was a good header away by Basham. Longest serving player for Sheffield United, now in his 9th season at the club. And Sheffield United get the ball away. Well, they've made their feelings quite clear. Their priority is a return to the Premier League after 2 years away from the top flight. As Akmerovic comes across to stop it from reaching Harry Kane and clears it away. And I really can't recall Wes Foderingham being extended at all tonight.
No, he hasn't been tested. I don't even know. First half there was one that hit the bar, Richarlison over the bar. He hasn't had nothing to do in the second half. I'd love to know if Tottenham have even had a shot on target in the whole game, then, because I don't think they have.
John Fleck is going to be coming on, midfielder. Very experienced, of course, and he's going to be replacing McAtee. So Fleck coming on for his 260th appearance. And there's been another goal at Anfield, Juliet Farrington.
And it's another goal for Liverpool, and Mo Salah this time. It seemed to come off his chest, but there's no stopping him as the run was made. Although, I'm just looking to see if they go back to the centre circle and the game restarts, and the announcement has been made. But Paul Tierney is moving very, very slowly. I think he's going to be given Liverpool lead here by 2 goals to nil.
To add to that goal from Virgil van Dijk, Liverpool 2, Wolves 0, Arsenal 4, Everton 0. That's in the Premier League. The story of the night for those 4,500 Grimsby fans who'd made that long trek down to the south coast to be rewarded with a 2-1 win to knock out Southampton and a place in the quarter-finals. And we will have the draw coming up for you here live on BBC Radio 5 Live. Burnley will also be in that last 8 draw after beating the 10 men of Fleetwood by a goal to nil. And Manchester United have come from behind and lead West Ham United by 2 goals to 1. Blackburn, Fulham, Brighton and Manchester City, of course, reached the last 8 last night. Imagine an East Lancashire derby, Blackburn, Burnley. Højbjerg out to Perisic. Left-hand side of the penalty area. cross, charge down, loops up in the air, flick header from Danjuma, stretching was Fleck, edge of the area, Kulusevski to Dyer. Certainly a lot of urgency now from Tottenham. Højbjerg with the cross, Perisic with a downward header straight at Fotheringham.
First attempt on target I'm going for in the second half, because I can't recall anything else, and now Tottenham have decided we go down and we're going to start playing. It might be too little, too late.
Well, 4 minutes from the end, and the downward header didn't pose any problems to Fotheringham.
Exactly.
Another goal at Old Trafford. Lee Blakeman.
It's all over now. 3-1 to Manchester United. West Ham couldn't clear their lines. Fred struck, edge of the area, tidy finish, and that's probably the last kick of the game. Manchester United 3, West Ham 1.
Ball hit forward towards Sharp and doesn't go behind for a corner kick. Sanchez will touch it out of the corner flag for a throw. Full time in the Premier League. Arsenal 5 clear. John Southall.
They are Arsenal 4, Everton 0. Clinical and comfortable for Arsenal. 2 up at half time. Odegaard and Martinelli added 2 more in the second. It could have been more. Arsenal 5 points clear of the top. 13 to play. They believe inside here. Everton stay in the bottom 3. Arsenal 4, Everton 0.
At home to Bournemouth at the weekend are Arsenal. Sheffield United. Osborne to Ndiaye. Stopped by Skip. Forward ball to Son. Well read by Basham. Throws himself into the challenge. Back to his feet to take it away from Kane. That was superb from Basham. He's 34 years of age. He showed the agility of a 14-year-old there.
Yeah, he was brilliant. Harry Kane didn't fancy it though. Didn't want to put his foot in. He didn't want to get an injury, but brilliant from Basham.
Højbjerg nudges the ball to Danjuma. Danjuma out to Kulusevski. Still inside their own half, and we've got under 3 minutes remaining. And it'll be a free kick as Danjuma is fouled. So Liverpool lead Wolves 2-0. Arsenal have won by 4 goals to 0. Grimsby Town fans, if you're listening to 5 Live or stuck in traffic outside St Mary's, I can tell you that you will be ball number 6 in the draw that will be coming up live here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Burnley will be ball 8, Manchester United will be ball 7, Brighton ball 3, Blackburn ball 2, Manchester City will be... Can't read my own writing. Full time it's finished 3-1. What have we got left for Manchester City? Can't read my own scrawl.
What numbers have you said so far?
I don't think I've said ball number 1.
That could be City then.
Could be. We'll find out. Anyway, you'll hear it live on BBC Radio 5 Live. And we're 2 minutes away from Sheffield United knocking out Tottenham Hotspur. Southampton and Spurs and West Ham, the 3 Premier League sides to go. Oh, I've got that completely wrong. It's Grimsby are actually ball 1, and it is Manchester City who are ball 6. The rest of it was right, as the ball is hit long. Like Chappers' suit trousers falling apart at the seams. Clearance by... You can say what you like now.
He won't live that down. Yeah. He's talking about squats. He needs to buy trousers that fit him.
He's in makeup.
Stop buying extra small.
Tottenham, I've got to be honest with you, Tottenham just don't look like scoring.
No, they don't. You're all right, Denham. They're nowhere near good enough.
Here is Kane, out to Dyer. The Chip Butty song rings around Bramall Lane. Tottenham Hotspur are playing in front of Sheffield United. We're inside the last 60 seconds of normal time. The season's resting on the Champions League and a top 4 finish, unless something dramatic happens. Comes out to Skip, edge of the area, downward header. Son tries to prod it on. Cleared away by Akman Hodic. Up towards Sharp. Sharp holds on to the ball, tries to turn, held up by Sanchez. Free kick goes in favour of Billy Sharp with all of his years of experience at 37 years of age. Wily play by the veteran.
Yeah, I don't know how Sanchez is still playing at Tottenham, I'll be honest with you. For me, he never defends, he's never comfortable in possession, he's been poor. You need to win things, and I don't rotate centre-backs, you don't need to rotate centre-backs, but brilliant hold-up play there from Billy Sharp. Showed all his experience, and he just bought the foul.
Sander Berg controls it, flag stays down, right side of the penalty area, tries to play it into the penalty area, downward header by Dyer. 4 minutes of added on time, which we're now into. Doyle tries to thread a ball through. Ndiaye turns, clears, up towards Son. Son shifts it away from Basham, tries to accelerate away from Berg. Berg going back at him. Berg falls to the floor. Son shrugs him off. Son runs in field now, looks for the supporting run of Kulusevski. Might come back towards Son. Son on the edge of the box. Son enters the penalty area. Son still going. Sliding challenge was a very good one by Robinson. Well-timed challenge. Cleared away then by Basham. Ndiaye. There's a man over in the middle if he can find Billy Sharp. Ndiaye just can't wrestle away from Sanchez, who hauls him to the ground. And that will be a free kick to Sheffield United.
Sanchez, stop moaning at Skip and do your job. You're one-on-one and you're a Premier League defender and you're trying to nick the ball and there's 2 or 3 minutes. Do your job. I'm sick and tired of him always raising his hands and moaning at everyone else. Do your job. It's so frustrating to watch. If I was out there, I'd be having a go at him, Deno. But brilliant play from Ndiaye.
Well, the Sheffield United supporters might have come here thinking we've got a chance, and then with the 8 changes they thought the Premier League is the club's aim. But Paul Heckingbottom, serving the first of a 3-match touchline ban, has got his tactics absolutely bang on the money, and a well-taken goal from Ndiaye. And here he is again, turning sharply. If Sheffield United don't get promoted in the Premier League, he will be in the Premier League next season.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. I think they will get promoted. I think them and Burnley are the 2 outstanding teams, but you're spot on, Deno. He's been outstanding. He's come on and made a big difference. He's a talent. Where did he come from? Boreham Wood.
Boreham Wood, signed in 2019.
What a signing he's been, by the way.
Senegalese international. Spurs go long. We're halfway through the 4 minutes of added on time. Sheffield United's clearance is going to be picked up by Ndiaye, who runs forward. Well read though by Basham, stepping out of defence. Højbjerg sends over a diagonal cross from the right hand side. Perisic heads it on. I can't recall too many times, whether it's second half or indeed first half, where Tottenham have actually got round the back of Sheffield United tonight.
Yeah, they've been poor, really poor, been nowhere near good enough, nowhere near good enough. And we've been speaking about it in the Premier League a lot of the times, nowhere near good enough. Been relying on Harry Kane a lot of the time, but in particular tonight, nowhere near.
Sheffield United are minutes away, seconds away indeed, from a place in the quarter-finals. They had lost their last 5 ties in the 5th round against Premier League opposition since they beat Manchester United in 1993. Here in 2023 they lead by a goal to 0. Perisic, we're inside the last 60 seconds, stands over a cross, Kane downward header.
Oh my word.
You know it's not Tottenham's night when he plants an unmarked header well wide.
Yeah, it's a great chance. Harry Kane, you know, when it's 9 times out of 10, when Harry Kane gets a chance like that, he finds the back of the net. It's brilliant play from Perisic on the left-hand side. And they're not marking him. It's a free header from Harry Kane. Yeah, he really should be hitting the target. There's not a lot of pace on it, and he's going back, but he should be hitting the target.
Well, Sheffield United are a side on a good run of form. They've lost 3 of their last 21 before tonight in all competitions. We talked about their ability to keep finding the net, and Ndiaye with the winning goal. They're about 15 seconds away from a place in the quarter-finals. Don't go anywhere, the draw is coming up live here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Tottenham have got to go long. By my watch, we have 5 seconds remaining. Cleared away by Basham.
Don't foul.
And there is the final whistle. And Sheffield United celebrates a place in the quarter-finals and claiming the scalp of Tottenham Hotspur, who for a 4th successive season fall at the 5th round hurdle. And they can have no complaints here. This time last year, the 1st of March, they made an exit at Middlesbrough. Now it's rocking at Bramall Lane to the tune of Status Quo. And Sheffield United are through.
And they deserve it, to be fair. I think the game plan, you got to credit Paul Heckingbottom. He's not on the touchline, but his game plan, I thought, was outstanding. It's fantastic. First half, they soaked up the pressure. Didn't really look a threat apart from Koulibaly. Second half, when they made their changes, they were brilliant. Thoroughly deserved it. Tottenham nowhere near it, Deno, nowhere near it.
Well, Tottenham Hotspur trudge off the pitch, and they're left now with their only silverware, bearing in mind that their last trophy was the League Cup in 2008, it rests on the Champions League, and to turn around Milan and a 1-0 deficit next Wednesday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And apart from that, it's all about finishing fourth, but it could well be another season without trophy for Tottenham Hotspur.
No, yeah, and you are, Deno, you're spot on, it could be. And this was the golden opportunity. They're not going to win the Champions League, let's be honest with you. Tottenham got no chance of winning the Champions League. I think they'll beat Milan in the next round, but I don't think they'll win the Champions League. And now it's a competition. Liverpool have won today, still got games in hand. They'll be chasing Tottenham. All they've got to do now is try and concentrate on that top four and beating Milan and progress into the next round. But this was a great opportunity missed.
And Ndiaye came off the bench, and it was a really, really well-taken goal 11 minutes from time. And as the stewards have formed lines in their luminous jackets on the edge of each penalty area, left and right, the Sheffield United players are actually doing a lap of honour here, because Sheffield United supporters came out here in force. It was close to capacity, I would say, here at Bramall Lane tonight.
Yeah, they did. They came out in their force, and they're probably thinking when they saw the team sheet, wow, we might be struggling. But credit to them. That goes to show they've got a very good squad. Not just a good 11, a very, very good squad, Sheffield United. Great togetherness. See pictures of Paul Higginbottom, and he still hasn't gone downstairs. I'm not sure if he's allowed to go down until back into the change room. But his boys have done him proud this evening. An excellent result.